Welcome to Anchored at Harbor Park CrossFit, a show dedicated to helping you find enrichment for the other 23 hours of your day outside of the gym. Here's your hosts, Jason, Dave, and Corian.
Good morning, guys. Anchored at Harbor Park. I'm not going to lie, I don't even know what episode we're on anymore.
7.
We're at episode 7. And we don't even have anything to sample.
Nope. Just coffee today.
Any icebreakers?
I got one. What are you most excited about with the new Racine building?
Oh, man.
All the space.
So much more room for activities.
Fun and activities. We're going to have to be
so
cramped.
Jason says space, Corian?
I agree. Just all the space.
Space, okay. And then I'll say what we have in store for equipment.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool.
I'm really excited to not have to have 10 people in class anymore.
Yeah, I'm
honestly.
excited about having bigger classes.
I think a lot of people are going to be happy to have like a dedicated area to do kind of their own stuff to be out of the way. Mm-hmm. That'll be nice.
For sure.
All right, let's get into it.
We're talking about nutrition today, how much to eat.
More nutrition topics. Yay.
Well, we got a lot of feedback on the last one. I think a lot of people enjoyed it. So we figured we would go a little bit deeper in this nutrition talk.
Yeah. Obviously, I can talk for days and days and days. I'm going to try and keep this honed in for what our topic is today. So the topic today is about are you eating enough and how much should you be eating? I think that the majority of people who come to me realize that they're definitely not eating enough, especially when they start doing exercise of any sort 3 times a week. Most people don't understand, like, if you were to just wake up and lay in bed all day long, just for your heart and your brain and your lungs to function, generally is between about 1,200 and 1,500 calories. So if you're eating anything less than that and then actually doing things all day.
That's called your basal metabolic rate.
Yes. I'm trying.
If you want to get geeky about it.
Get geeky. So if you're doing anything above that, your body's kind of in a huge deficit and then just wants to store things. It's not going to let you. That's why people feel foggy, tired, sluggish. And a lot of people make that up by drinking tons of caffeine and soda. But you're tired because you just don't have the energy. You don't have the calorie intake to go for your whole day. So I think that's one of the biggest things that people need to pay attention to. Eat more.
So that's like the bare minimum.
Yes, bare minimum.
If you're not even eating that much, like there's red flags, like we got to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's plenty of clients that I've dealt with that actually are around that mark, 1,200 calories, because they think that's what's going to make them lose weight, or they're just scared to eat more.
That, or they're just busy. You know, I'm not going to lie, a lot of jobs don't give you opportunities for breaks to eat, or you're in some sort of job that you don't get a set lunchtime or anything like that. I mean, even factory work, so many times people now like work longer hours, do more, and that's how you get ahead as an employee. So these people are working 10, 12-hour days, maybe get a lunch. They're eating 1 meal a day because that's all they have time for, they think. So I try to help people get more food in.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously, the more you do throughout your day, the more active your job is, the more active you are just in general. That's going to bump that your metabolism up. So then we have to bump that number up. If you're working out at all, that's going to add additional calories you need. So, I mean, to do this without any, like just on your own, there's tons of information on the internet. But again, that's going to be all over the place and probably confusing and maybe misleading. Mm-hmm. So it's a really sticky topic, and it's kind of hard to navigate on your own.
It's super hard to navigate. So many people think that, weight loss is a fast thing and they're going to do 30 pounds in 30 days, but that's not really realistic. It's not healthy. It's not sustainable mentally and physically. So what I try to advise people to do is just start slow. Try to switch out processed food with real food. And then what'll happen, and this is kind of another thing that I was going to talk about, when we eat processed food and we're busy all day, we stop listening to the fact that we're hungry because our body goes, well, you're not listening to me anyway, so I'm not going to tell you I'm hungry anymore. And a lot of people say that, oh, well, I'm just not hungry. So I only eat one meal a day. And it's like, because your body's like, well, she ain't listening to me anyway. So we need to stop eating the processed food that's full of MSG and all of those other
Or
things.
the other thing that happens is people eat a lot of shit and they complain that they still are hungry.
Yes.
Because they're not getting vital nutrients that they need because they're just eating processed food.
Empty calories.
Right, so your body's saying, hey, I need whatever it is, vitamin D, and it's going to keep giving you those hunger cues until you eat it. But if you're not eating that, then you're just going to keep eating food, still being hungry, and wonder why the heck, like...
Yeah, because you could
feeling
most
good.
definitely eat McDonald's all day long and probably be taking in 4,000 calories a day. But when it comes to actual nutrients, you're well below that 1,200. So yes, you're going to feel more hungry. Things are going to turn to fat, and you're still going to feel sluggish. So real
Not to
food.
mention the high processed sugar is
Yep.
going to just refuel you getting hungry. That's what it does.
Yep.
Triggers your brain to eat more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and smells. We were just at Nestle for our health fair, and I literally was eating in the car as we were parking, ate my food, was full, couldn't even finish it, walk into Nestle, and all I can smell is chocolate. And we're in the cafeteria where they have an ice cream machine that is all you can eat for free for their employees. And it's just like mind-boggling. And the entire 4 hours I was there, starving. I was like, oh my God, I'm so hungry right now, because I was smelling all the food, which was turning on my hunger cues. But I knew in my head, like, I wasn't actually hungry. So, Nestle's got the chocolate smell. If you drive past McDonald's, Burger King, all that smell is in the air. And then if you go to grocery stores, they pump the bakery smell into the front of the store.
Yep.
Yep.
So as soon as you walk in, that's the first thing you smell, and it smells good.
Yeah. And you're like,
I
oh.
remember an episode of Chasing Excellence, or maybe it was the CrossFit New England Way, where Ben Bergeron was talking about how he kind of got addicted to having a parfait before bed.
Oh, yeah,
I
that
saw
was, yep.
And so he said one night to test it, he had a double dinner. So it was like 800 calories instead of the normal like 400. So like eating that, he knew he should be full. But since he had been addicted to and having the parfait every night right before bed, even though he ate double the calories, he was still craving it. And his body was telling him he was still hungry, even though he knew he wasn't.
Because that was his routine.
Yep.
His body's like, wait, where is this? Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of these things are kind of throwing off what we actually need. And so that makes nutrition very difficult as well, because people are like, I can't even trust my own body right now. How do I know what I should be eating and how to be eating?
Yep. So then what do we tell them? So we talked about in the first nutrition episode, very basic, and then we get into this one. We're going to kind of go a little bit further. How would you help someone?
So the first thing that I tell people to start with, obviously, is to try and cut out the processed food. The more you can cut out processed food and all of the MSG and the sugars and all that stuff, the more you're going to be able to listen to your body. From there, we use our hands because they're always with us and we don't ever have to worry about forgetting them, hopefully. So if you are out, it's really simple that we do like a palm size of protein, about 2 fistful of healthy carbs. So that would be, broccoli and cauliflower, or maybe an equivalent of a rice is about a cup, or fruits, keep it portioned, and then thumb size of fat. So usually for guys, general meals is, it's usually like, guys are a little bit different. So it's about a palm size, 2 fists, and then 2 thumbs. Ladies can cut that in half. A lot of it's going to depend on how hungry you are. So just kind of keep those ratios the same. So half palm, 1 fist, 1 thumb.
And that's like a really simplified way to do the zone
Yes,
diet.
pretty much.
So it's really efficient.
Yeah.
And then typically for, I think, most ladies, you want 3 meals like that? throughout your
3 to
day?
5 depends on, again, how much you're working out, depends on where you are in your hunger cues and stuff like that. Generally, you can do about 3 to 5 meals.
And then guys would be on the...
They usually are like
upper.
4 to 6.
Yeah, I'm about 4 to 6.
Yeah.
4 to 6 meals a day.
And so there's another thing too, and this gets a little nerdy and geeky, but we all have body types. So there's an ectomorph body type. So people who are like, generally you look at them and they're just naturally really thin. Doesn't mean that they're always healthy. And I think we talked about this in an early episode, skinny fat. So they don't have a lot of muscle, but you could just tell they're very slender. Ectomorphs generally do well with more carbs, because they have a higher metabolism and they're going to burn it off. So as a generalize, if you want to get a little bit deeper into this, once you start doing the palms and you use that for your meals and you start tuning into your hunger cues, now we can start tweaking a little bit more too. So if you're an ectomorph where you do more carbs, you're going to add maybe another half a fist of carbs and take out a thumb of fat. What? Why are you laughing?
Nothing.
Those two over there?
Yeah,
We
because
have
as
an
soon as you
audience
said
today.
fist and thumb, they looked up.
Oh, these guys, wow.
I forgot they were even here.
gutters,
Yeah.
piggish.
So,
Sorry, everyone.
So that's a generalized rule for ectomorphs. Mesomorphs are people who not super skinny, not super bulky, kind of right in the middle. And then that's what that ratio of the palm, the two fists, and the two thumbs works well for. And then if you're like me, I'm more of an endomorph. So I feel anyway that I'm never going to be that like skinny girl. I'm never going to be 105 pounds. Like that's just not me. I don't have a slender body type. Dave does. I would say that Dave is more of the ectomorph and I'm more of the endomorph where I'm just a little bit bulkier. I do better with higher fat. So I'm going to take away one of the fists of carbs and I'm going to add a thumb of fat. And that generally works better for me. I'm leaning out more with that. I feel great doing my workouts.
I'm higher carb. Mm-hmm. I need less fat and higher carb.
So if you need a visual reference, Dave ectomorph, Corian endomorph.
It's good. I like that.
Yeah. Jason does well right in
I've
the
just
middle.
been doing it right in the middle. So.
And that works for him. So he's a mesomorph.
And that's the other thing. You got to figure out what works for you. So that's, like Zone Diet's awesome, but sometimes it works for some people, some don't. Mm-hmm. So we got to play with it a little bit. But this is good for, I think, as we talked about scaling nutrition and talk about progressions, this is a good step up if you're, if you dialed in your nutrition from the last episode, what we talked about nutrition, just eating healthier. And now we're going to talk, we kind of getting into the palm portions. Mm-hmm. And later on we can get into measuring and weighing and all that. But
one thing we can get into quick that I think trips a lot of people up is like going back for seconds and then like snacking throughout the day.
Yes.
So a thing to remember is like when you do those portions that we just talked about, that is your meal. Mm-hmm. Like you don't get to have that and then go have another one.
Yes. I just had this conversation last night with my dad because he, again, is in a routine and a habit, and he has like toast at night before he goes to bed with peanut butter on it. That's fine. If you were my client, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you two options. A, do you want to start switching that out for a healthier option? B, do you want to make that a complete 3-tiered snack, which is the bread's the carb, the peanut butter's the fat, he's missing his protein. Mm-hmm. I said, I would give you, as my client, an option. Which do you think is more likely that you're going to be able to do or that you want to do? His choice was to swap it out for something that's healthier. So I'm going to tell him, okay, you're going to have an apple or something like that with the peanut butter. Once he can switch out and stop getting used to having the bread, I would then give him that option again. We still need protein in that. So how can we find a way to get a protein source with that snack before you go to bed? Because it's not bad to eat. I hate when I hear people say like, oh, I can't eat after a certain time. And like, that's not true at all. Dave eats like as we're going to bed. He has his protein smoothies. So we kind of got to get that thought out of our head too.
Right,
you know?
Right. And that's, again, we're tracking in a later episode. That's where that starts to play. If you're trying to hit your calories and your macros.
Yeah.
But that's another episode. So
absolutely.
What do you got here? General pre-post.
Oh.
We already talk about that. Snacks. Workout snacks. There we go.
Yeah, workout snacks. So
Sorry,
what do
trying
you
to read the chicken scratch.
What do you generally eat before you work out, and what do you eat after you work out?
I don't have pre or post snacks. Mm-hmm. I just have my main meal times.
Yeah.
Which will keep me satiated through the workout.
It's a big word.
I love that word.
unless I'm doing a 5:30 a.m., then I might have something small beforehand.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't have anything before, unless I'm just like super drained or anything. But I've never ran into that. I usually work out at like 4:30 or 5:30, and I have my meal at 3. So that usually keeps me full through the workout, and then I go home after and eat my dinner.
Yeah, I think if you're on some sort of plan for your day, absolutely, you don't have to. I mean, in theory, that is your pre-workout, is just the meal that you've had before, whether you did it an hour or 2 hours, like that is your pre-workout. And then post-workout is just whatever you eat after. Generally, typically, you're going to want, and fat is our actual energy, our like main energy source for longer workouts. So I try to tell people, but again, you gotta kind of find what works for you. An hour to 2 hours before your meal should be a little bit higher in fat than it is in carbs. And then after your workout, you want a meal that's a little higher in carbs than fats, because you want to replace, the energy that was lost, and that'll replace it faster.
Yep. So I usually do my main meal, then I do my protein shake with the pure carbs, the pure carbs.
Yes.
Right after.
Yeah, and I do my higher fat meal. My next meal after my workout is my higher fat one. So
Cool.
yeah, those are my
I think that's
favorite.
all of our topics we hit today. We were 15 minutes.
Oh, Jason's got to go fast today, so we're trying to.
It's all right. But the
go through.
last thing we want to talk about was our nutrition challenge that is going to come up.
Yeah.
So we have, what's it called, Corian?
It is going to be the Spring Shape Up. So this one is going to be a 4-week nutritional challenge. This challenge is really going to be about teaching people about habits and routines.
Yep.
So basically everything we just talked about today.
I like it because it's all about the process. It's not about like we're gonna do this and at the end we're gonna lose. Whoever loses the most weight wins. It's gonna be whoever sticks to the plan on a daily basis the best is gonna win.
Right, and it's the point of this one, like you just said, it's not a diet, it's just a way of life. Like we're not thinking of dieting for 30 days. We want to get those good habits that you can take on after it. That's the point of it. But we have some cool things to announce when we're going to do it. We'll actually have a leaderboard app that everybody will log into. You'll have scoring for it, so you'll be able to see every day where you rank.
And what is the criteria again?
For the scoring. So a lot of like I said, so when we build routines and we build better habits, you'll see that fat loss and your exercises get better. So we want to deal with sustainability, long-term routines. So points are going to be based off of, did you exercise for a certain amount of time? Did you do mobility? Did you get your recovery, your sleep? Because we all know that's so huge. Any supplements that you plan on taking or that you're regularly taking, fish oils, magnesium, vitamin D, which I highly recommend. A lot of our members now are also doing their casein protein from UR at night. So we're going to have just a broad topic for your supplements. Did you take your supplements today?
And then you get points for that, and you enter it into the system.
And the way you lose points is if you didn't work out, or say any of your meals, we're going to have a whole list of food that's approved and that's not. I'm going to warn you guys right now, it's pretty strict. And it's just 30 days, and then we'll talk about like reintroducing foods afterwards. But so of this approved food list, if you have anything that's not approved, you lose a point per thing that's not approved. So say I'm doing really awesome and I have this meal. So last night I went out and I had a fish fry with my dad. I got the baked fish over the fried, which is approved. No sides for me. There was potato wedges. So unfortunately, I did need a carb and I was out. I tried not to eat very many of them, but technically that was not an approved because they were fried. So I would have lost a point. So you always start out with the total points and then you just deduct from there.
Okay.
It's going to be cool, and I think people are going to like this one. And then we're going to do a buddy system. So it's not necessarily going to be teams, but we're going to get you guys to pair up to have
just more accountability.
Accountability partner, yeah. So you'll be able to pair up with somebody you like. So like Dustin and Robert, who are sitting staring at us, watching us live, could be accountability partners because they're lift partners, but like that's how it would be.
And then we have a lot of really cool things. So Origin Meals, we've already talked to. We're hooking up with them. Anybody who's part of the Nutrition Challenge is going to get a discount code for 4 weeks of meals, 15% off. So that's an easy way.
And I assume those are all pre-approved.
Pre-approved. So that's an easy way. You can do 3 meals a week, or
I think it was 5.
You could do the 3-meal plan or the 5-meal plan per week.
And it came out to like $100
But it was
if you did all
it was
of them or
lunch
something?
and dinner.
Yeah.
So you do 3 meals of lunch and dinner, technically 6 meals, or 5 meals of lunch and dinner at 10 meals. So you could get, those are your 2 options. And so that's going to be really awesome. They're on the bandwagon. We're going to have cash prizes and hopefully some sponsorships. So I know Boxstar's already jumped on the bandwagon for a sponsorship. So we're hoping to hear back from some of our other sponsors. So a lot of great things for this nutrition challenge.
Yep. And this one is going to be Corian and myself. We're going to
Yes.
run this one.
So if you guys have any questions, once you hear this, we're going to be probably promoting the nutrition challenge before the podcast comes out.
Yeah.
Did you say
So
what are the official dates?
We're releasing the nutrition challenge this Monday, and then
What day? Because this will come out
so
on Friday afterwards.
So Monday is 15th. The 16th is when we release it. It's starting May 3rd. So May
Okay.
3rd will be the first
So
day.
about 2
of-
weeks.
yes.
Yep.
So we will still be doing measurements and photos to start, but this is going to revolve around those habits and getting those daily points, because if we're doing that, it's going to reflect
Right.
in those
Yeah.
measurements.
So the cool thing about it, I like about it, is it's not necessarily on the most weight loss. It's not necessarily all about, I mean, you get points for that. You're going to,
Yeah.
it's not all about that. There is a workout that we're going to do with it, but it's
Yeah.
not going to be all based on that like we did before. You can still, get in the habits, and that's what it's about. It's about teaching the habits, and you get rewarded for that.
Because those are going to last way longer
Yeah.
than anything else.
And then I think we're going to do top 80%, as long as you
We'll get in
participate. But yeah, we'll release more
And at the
details
end,
as we
we're
go.
going to go over the results live on the show.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
bum.
All right, so I think that's all we have. Jason, you got anything else to leave us
Nope,
with?
I think that's good.
Words of wisdom.
We got a lot of people coming in for goal sessions lately, and I love it. So get signed up, and you could do a goal session even if you want to talk about nutrition, just basic nutrition. Sign up for a goal session with any of the 3 of us, and we
And
can
then
chat.
if you're not sure if you want more advanced nutrition coaching, we can kind of help you figure that out as well.
Absolutely.
That is available. Yep. And then I don't know what I was just going to say.
Lost it.
I think that's it then.
I think that is it. I lost my train of thought. All right. We'll
guys.
see you guys next week.
Catch you next-
Thanks for listening to Anchored at Harbor Park CrossFit. If you would like further information about our programs, visit www.harborparkcrossfit.com. We hope you'll tune in next time.